Man bets he can eat 50 eggs in an hour, but 99% of the inmates bet against him. After all, 50 eggs weigh at least 6 pounds, but the man was confident enough to take on the challenge. At first, the man peeled the eggs one at a time faster than he could swallow them, but by the 24th egg, the man's speed was slowing down and his expression was getting more and more painful. But the entire prison population is watching him. To prove himself, the man tries to swallow while exercising, but what the inmates see as a waste of time. The man manages to eat 10 more eggs, but with 18 more to go, the man's stomach is almost bursting and he sounds like a ripe watermelon about to burst. Luckily, there are still 30 minutes left before the man's hour limit. The only 2 inmates who bought the man's ticket are starting to change their votes. The man only smiled a little as his spirit was rekindled, but the further he goes, the harder it is to swallow. And the man can only force the egg into his mouth with the help of his cellmates. At this point, it's no longer about winning the bet. It's about whether or not the man can push the limits of humanity. With 9 minutes to go, the man has lost the ability to chew on his own. But he's still not giving up. With 6 minutes to go, the cellmates help the man chew as they stuff eggs into his mouth. With 2 minutes left and 5 eggs short of 50, the man is completely flat on his back, letting his cellmates shove the eggs into his mouth. With 10 seconds to go, the cellmate who bought the man to win squeezes the man's cheeks to help him finish swallowing. As the hour countdown ended to celebrate the man's completion of the challenge, some inmates questioned whether the man's last egg had been clean, but when the man's mouth was opened, it was clean and everyone was convinced. But this is not the first time the man has challenged the impossible. As early as when he first entered the prison, he was targeted by a big man in the prison, but the hero did not choose to tolerate because of the other taller body of the two in the prison began a fair and square competition. But the reality is that the hero was crushed unilaterally. At first, the inmates were all watching, but then they realized that no matter how many times he was knocked down, he insisted on standing up and facing the other side. This perseverance and courage is really admirable, so much so that in the end, even the big man who beat him was overcome and chose to walk away silently. After that, everyone, including the big man, was impressed by this man. The guards at the labor camp deliberately gave them work that could not be done in a day to make things difficult for the prisoners. Everyone else was downcast and felt that they didn't need to work hard for an impossible task. Only the hero is always doing his best, and his energy inspires the other inmates to compete with each other. They had fun doing what could have been a boring job, and even finished 2 hours ahead of schedule. But the guards didn't know that the hero had become the spiritual leader of the people around him. But that day, when the news of his mother's death came, for the first time, the fearless tough guy shed a tear. All the inmates consciously gave the hero a place to heal, but the guards chose to put the man in a dark room because they were worried that he would escape to attend his mother's funeral. This incident made the man realize the reality and also realize that the rest of his life should not be imprisoned in this area.